everybody who's here. And welcome to you, my virtual audience. I'm so glad you've joined us as well. This is our first Sunday back open, and I was telling this wonderful group of people here, this feels like it's going to be open from now on. So if you are in town and would like to come on down, the mask mandate is still in place here in our little center until the end of the month, just to allow us all to get used to the idea. But right now, here we are with our band, and let's have some music. And if you feel like standing and singing, please do.
Well, we're going to sing I Am Blessed, and what a blessed community we have here. Thanks for being here. I am blessed. I am blessed every day of my life. I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning or I lay my head to rest, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am free, I am free, I am free. Every day of my life, I am free, 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 free. When I wake up in the morning or I lay my head to rest, I am free, I am free, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, oh I'm blessed every day of my life. I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning or I lay my head to rest, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed. One more time. I am blessed, I am blessed. Well, good morning here, near and far. Say hello to some of your neighbors out there, and if you're online, let us know where you're from. Time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome here.
Thank you. We are so thankful for the sunshine and the people in the sanctuary and the music and the ministers, plural, and a whole dozen practitioners. I'm Francine Kitchen, your practitioner for today, and Wanda Maddox is also the assistant practitioner, and we're here to help you and answer questions if you have any after service. Okay, now for an opening prayer. There's one source, and we are expressions of it. One love, one light, one life, one congregation of compassionate spiritual beings coming together to support each other. I open my mind and my heart to the highest wisdom that is available to me from this beautiful music, this beautiful service, this beautiful talk, to guide me to the next step on my spiritual path. For all this and more, I give thanks again and again. And so we say, and so it is.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's error, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. Let's sing that again. Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's error, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. Where there's error, let me love. Where there's error, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Let's sing, oh, let me feel inner peace. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. My heart is open. My heart is open. I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. My heart is open. I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Let's envision peace all over this world. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me. Our hearts are open. My heart is open. I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. My heart is open. I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love. My heart is open. My heart is open. I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. Oh, let me feel inner peace from my center, from the center of me.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, so this month we're talking about essential practices on the path, meaning the things that we can use to really assist us in living a happier, more peace-filled, more loving life, spiritually as well as in every other way. And so I'm going to talk about forgiveness. And I was sitting over there going, oh. Because I don't know about you, but forgiveness is one of the hardest of the essential practices that we're encouraged to have. And yet it's also essential to our well-being, to our happiness, to our ability to love other people, to love ourselves. It's so critical that you don't find a single wisdom teaching or spiritual tradition that doesn't have some sort of format or some sort of way to bring about forgiveness. In wisdom traditions, often this involves ritual, where we come to a ritual and prepare ourselves before we arrive and enter into the ritual with the pure intent to allow ourselves to let go of the resentment, the hatred, the bitterness, whatever we're carrying, so that we can move free in the world again. Because if you're like me, and I suspect you are, the places of unforgiveness are like these horrifying, burning lava rocks of the soul, that just stay there and sort of burn and burn and burn until we can find a way to work with them and extinguish the fire and let them go. So when I met my sweetheart, I was in the midst of a vast 7-year forgiveness project. And I was at the beginning rather than the middle or the end. And so because his wisdom tradition, had a lot of ritual, he invited me into a ritual, and it was really profound. And I'll just tell you a little bit about it. It was in a deep creek bed with water still flowing, and I was instructed to build a raft out of whatever natural materials I could find, and place a candle on the raft and light it. And then as I let go of the raft of bitterness that I was holding, the stream would carry it. Sounds good, right? The stream carried it about 5 inches, and then it got stuck. It was the perfect metaphor at the time. It was so sad. And I sat there, didn't know my sweetheart for very long, so I didn't want to say anything like, dang it, that's exactly right. So I'm the first to say that forgiveness is not an easy or a one-shot deal for many of us, especially in those times when there's really been a huge hurt, a huge betrayal, a huge sense of deep pain caused by a situation or another person. But that makes me not an expert, but someone who has certainly worked with this topic. So I wanted to tell you a couple things that I've learned along the way. And of course, some of this is informed by being a child in the Episcopal Church. And children in the Episcopal Church really were not instructed in biblical passages and stuff so much, but we did catch a few things here and there. And one of the most fascinating to me was told by my parents. They were reading right before the Easter experience, which for those of us who are not biblically oriented, that is the time when Jesus was crucified. And he was crucified with a thief. And the last words he spoke, you know about crucifixion, right? It's a horrifying, suffocating process. So the last words he was able to speak were, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." And I think I was probably 8 or 9 when I heard that story and what he had said. I walked away as a 9-year-old going, wow, I wonder if I'll ever be able to do that, In my little life, I had, hurts and pains and things, but nothing that would equal anything like that experience. And so I tucked it away, and every once in a while I'd pull the story out and go, wow, that's amazing that he could say that. I really think it was amazing. I think it's amazing when any of us can say that, actually, but particularly when you're suffocating on a cross, nailed, you know. So I am informed by that saying. Whether or not he actually said it or not, it doesn't actually matter, because it's the heart of the matter. It's the heart of what has to occur in me and in you if we're to be able to be freed from the pain of a lack of forgiveness. Is we have to somehow reach a place in our own mind and heart where we really understand that the other person or the situation did not fully understand. Now, how could this be? How could this be? I don't know what your trauma is, and I'm fine not knowing. But having been a therapist for years and years and years, I can say, client after client, having these horrific experiences, how did they not know? How did the perpetrator not know what they were doing? And I want to give you the answer. It's sort of like algebra where they had the answers in the book. It may not exactly make sense to you if you're in the middle of a forgiveness process, but here's the answer so that you can at least know when you arrive at it. The answer to that, how did they not know, is we have a capacity as sacred humans, you may have noticed, to have a tremendous amount of denial. After all, I'm the one that denied I was pregnant in my third pregnancy for 8 months. And if I could do that, a perpetrator can do anything. They cannot know. They cannot take in. They can be so blind by the craving or the lust or the need or the revenge that they really don't know. They don't care, maybe, but they don't know either. So that's the answer. Now let me talk about how to get to the answer a little bit, because it for me, I'm not a fast forgiver. I wish I was. I'm better now. But here's some of the things that I learned. I have a teacher. He's recently passed away. His name is Thich Nhat Hanh, and he was a Zen monk and a world peace figure. He worked with Martin Luther King Jr. And, he was Vietnamese, and so he came to light in the world consciousness during the Vietnam War when he left Vietnam to come to America and Europe to talk about the impact of the bombing on his people. You see, he wasn't really interested in the politics of the whole thing. What he was interested in was stopping the bombing, right? Stopping the pain, stopping the harm. And so he brought himself to the place that was featuring the bombing to talk about the impact so that people would know, forgive them, they know not what they do, so that people would actually know the consequences. And as a result of his actions and so many others, people began to wake up to the pain that was being inflicted and to begin to question it and to begin to think about it and to begin to act in ways that would maybe tell our government and the governments involved, this isn't the way. There's a similar thing going on right now with Russia and Ukraine. Forgive them, they know not what they do. It's hard to have as the answer when things are going on like this. So back to Thich Nhat Hanh. So I didn't discover him until the 90s, the mid-90s. And I went to him because I needed inner peace. And so what a perfect guy, right? He seemed to know what he was talking about. And he was, like me, a storyteller. And so he told this story that I wanted to tell you. It came back to me this morning. So in his journey, one of the horrifying things that was happening, out of so many, is that you may remember the Khmer Rouge and Cambodia, and how the Cambodian people were being murdered by the millions, and how people from Cambodia had crossed into different countries and then were seeking to cross the sea to get to Thailand and then get to embassies and then get to other countries. And like we saw with Syria, the Cambodian refugees were crammed into any vessel that would take them, and often these vessels were not seaworthy. They were run by smugglers and people that didn't really understand fully what was going on, just needed money. So they would cram into these boats and seek to cross the sea. And it was extremely hazardous, and many, many people drowned. But the other hazard that Thich Nhat Hanh was aware of was what were called Thai pirates. And Thai pirates would launch from the shores of Thailand and go out, sail out to these boats, because Thai pirates were adept at ocean going. And they would rob the people, rape the women, and then sail back to their villages. And the cultural norms of Cambodia required, for many of those young women that were raped, that they throw themselves into the sea and drown rather than have an unsought pregnancy out of wedlock. So there was a lot of suffering. And so Thich Nhat Hanh decided that he would rent a freighter and bring a whole bunch of his monks and nuns, and that they would try to intervene and get in the way of the Thai pirates. And they weren't particularly successful. They weren't successful really very much at all. But at one point, Thich Nhat Hanh was witnessing the raping of some of these women, and he became enraged, which, for a Zen monk to get angry is unusual. They do a lot of practice around anger so that it doesn't carry them away. But he was enraged, and because he could feel the anger rising, he began to do walking practice, walking meditation, where you walk very slowly and you follow your breath. And he said that he had to do that for 5 hours in order for the waves of anger and frustration to calm. And part of what allowed him to calm the rage was he began to understand. He began to take himself through a process as he was walking of trying to understand the Thai pirates. And this is what he came up with. He realized from having been raised in that region of the world that these men were from tiny fishing villages all along the coast of the sea, and that for generation after generation after generation, their people were fishermen. And that's how they survived, is they would go out every day and they would bring in the catch, and they would sell the catch, and they would make a small amount of money and survive and have enough food, have enough money for the basics of life. And then the next day, same thing, and the next day, same thing. And then in the mid-20th century, Thailand received televisions. And little villages all along the seashore, each one of them began to have a television. And it was absolutely remarkable, because for the first time ever, these very isolated fishing villages were tuning into the world, and they were turning into materialism. And they began to realize that other places had motorcycles, and other places had cars, and other places had luxury foods and luxury items, and other places had all kinds of things that they didn't even know about until the television entered their home. And so a whole group of young people who were expected to carry on the tradition of their elders and the generations of elders that had gone out to sea every day and fished and come back and sold the fish and made a very simple living, a whole generation, for good or bad, wanted more. Wanted more. They wanted what they were seeing. They wanted to have all that stuff. And how were they going to get that? I mean, fish is a commodity that actually doesn't change in price that much, at least at that point. So some of them turned to robbery. Some of them turned to becoming pirates. And at first, maybe, Thich Nhat Hanh speculated, at first, perhaps they went out and they just stole money because that's what they wanted, was the ability to have things, and they just wanted money. But you know the ways of corruption to the soul that happen, right? I'm not the only one. One thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And pretty soon, if you're in for a penny, literally, you're in for a pound. And so that was Thich Nhat Hanh's walking meditation, was seeing and understanding that these were not, fundamentally bad people, but they were people that had been exposed to ideas without any way of having them and were using the means they had to try to get what they wanted. Did it make them right? Oh, no. Did it make them good? Oh, no. But it was understandable, right? You can understand with me that, okay, I could see that too. Well, in our own lives, it's like that. It's like that. If someone has harmed you, it's like that. Was it right? Oh, no. Were they good in that moment? No, not necessarily. Did they understand? Probably not. So what do we do? What are our practices? Our practices are really, really simple, actually. And I want to talk about the first two parts. You go to any therapist, they're going to tell you this stuff, but it works, that's why. So the first thing is to realize, first of all, your feelings. To understand that your feelings are totally valid. To be violated in any way is just horrifying. And it just is very destructive on so many levels. So understanding your feelings, writing them out, speaking them out is good, unless it becomes such a pattern that it becomes like you're stuck in it, like my raft with the candle. That's where I was. I was telling the story over and over, trying to release the feelings, but they weren't getting released. So we come to the second part. And I'll read you a story. This is from one of my other teachers, a Taoist named Bill Martin. For many years, John would come and stand in the front of the gate marked, "This way to forgiveness." It was a large wrought iron gate in an electrified fence. Both gate and fence were marked with large, ominous signs that warned, "Danger, high voltage." But John kept coming back. He could see through the gate into a paradise of green forests, cascading streams, and fertile fields. The sight of such nurture and luxury just out of reach made life on his side of the gate more and more miserable. He looked around at the wilderness on his side and felt a deep despair at the parched, barren landscape. He longed to get across the fence, through the gate, somehow to gain entrance to the paradise beyond. And that's where some of you are right now, is you want to let it go. You do. Finally, one day, he realized that he would rather be dead than continue to live with such torment. And this is the second step, and I'll go on with the story. The second step is when we get to the point where we are willing to let it go. Maybe out of desperation, maybe out of inspiration, but we're at a point where we really, really, really want to let it go. We're done with the story. We need to be free, right? Taking a deep breath, he reached out and pushed against the electrified bars of the gate. It swung open easily. No shock, no searing current charring his body. He stood transfixed for a moment and then slowly walked through the open gate into the welcoming fields. The warm sun fell on his face, and the gentle breeze soothed the warmth just enough. Delicious smells drifted into his nose, and his eyes took in a land even more beautiful than what he had seen through the bars. Sighing in deep relief, he turned to look back at the wilderness from which he had escaped and saw nothing but the same beautiful countryside as far as the eye could see. No fence, no gate, no wilderness. I get what Wanda calls God bumps. Why? Because that's actually true. That's been my direct experience, is the fence and the gate and the charge are constructed by us. It's a product of our conditioned mind that we've built over a lifetime with judgment and beliefs and ideas, not all bad, but not all good, about what should be and how things should happen and how I should be treated and how I have my life. And when we get to the point where we're willing to move into forgiveness, an extraordinary thing begins to happen. The way I finally got it was a friend of mine who was deeply involved in the Course in Miracles. I'm not a Course in Miracles studier, but I have lots of friends who are. And he took pity on me. And he said, because I said, his name is Mike. I said, Mike, I have done everything. I have done everything I know to do. I'm a minister. I'm a therapist. I've got all these tools, and I've been using them. I've been doing everything I could think of, from beginning to end, everything, and I still can't get there. I can't get past the gate. And he looked at me for a minute and he said, you know what the Course in Miracles say? And I'm like, no, I don't, so you're going to tell me. And he said, yeah, and it's really important that you hear me. And I said, okay, I'm ready, I'm willing. He said, okay, so that is what we have to do. Course in Miracles says we have to do our own work and do every single thing we know to do to forgive. And at some point, we will come to the Grand Canyon of our own being, or in this story, the electrified fence and the gate. We'll come to this place, and there's no way across. And believe you me, mine was a Grand Canyon. It was deep and it was wide. And I was on the edge, and I kept coming to the edge going, I don't know how to fly. How am I going to get over there? Because I can see the paradise of freedom, inner peace, love, restored. How do I get there? And Mike said, you do everything you know to do with your whole heart and your whole mind, and grace carries you over the canyon. Grace. And in that moment, that's a tricky word, grace. But for me, I heard it, I understood what he was saying, and I surrendered. Just like our song that Amber sang this morning. I surrendered to something larger than me, because that's what it was going to take. Yeah, my human mind and my human heart could do all of the things that I knew to do, but eventually I had to let go. Fully and completely let go of the story, let go of the make wrong, let go of the person, let go. Let go. And when I was able to do that, it was true. I went through the gate, I crossed the canyon. I don't know how that happened. I probably never will. I'm just grateful. Very, very grateful. But I'll tell you one thing and then we'll close because it's time. Bill Martin is a Taoist. And he's an interesting cat. He knows about the two sides of the brain, and so do you. This is common knowledge now. So the left part of the brain is the rational thinking side, and the right side of the brain is the creative, artistic, whole picture side. And so he took that understanding and he said, so we do the left brain work of making sense in our own mind of what has occurred. We feel the feelings, we make sense of those feelings, we understand that we've been harmed, we find ourselves in a place where we are ready to surrender. All on the left side is his thought. And what do we surrender to? The Tao mind. The Tao mind. And what is that? The understanding of oneness, the understanding of wholeness, the understanding that we're all in this together, that we're all connected, that we're all the same. We may be different, but we're all one. And in that mind, there is no barrier. In that mind, Jesus could say, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. In that mind, I could say, I see, as horrible as the experience was, I'm in a better place, and so is the other person now. I wouldn't want to be with that person, ever. I see that I was set free in a really awful way, but nonetheless I'm free. And when I got there, the story dropped so that I could use it as a teaching story in times like this. And I thank that guy. It was really a deep lesson, the hardest of the forgiveness things. But you know what? The reason I brought it to you today is because it's an essential practice, meaning it's one that, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on whether you're in your left brain or your down mind, it's a practice that we get to work with a lot. Not just in the big betrayals and the big things, but in the small ones. You know, the small ones we do to ourselves. That really is forgiveness work, probably, if you're like me, on more or less a daily basis. Did I really say that? Did I really eat that? Did I really go against my integrity there? Those forgivenesses are just as important. Why? Because every time we find the way across the canyon through the gate, our true nature, total freedom and inner peace, is revealed again. It's always waiting. It's always there. It's just sometimes we're not. So let me do a prayer so that we can once again be there with our true nature in shining glory, loving, peaceful, free. Join me in this knowing. Within and around all things dwells a vast energy of love and wisdom. It is responsible for creating all that is, including you and me. It is in a constant modality of creation, unfolding, evolving, expanding, opening. And in me and in you, this evolutionary process is welcomed now. I welcome the indwelling presence of wisdom that helps me to understand whenever there has been a transgression, one that I have done myself or one that has come my way. I understand from this wisdom place, I didn't know what I was doing. They didn't know what they were doing. And the vast, unlimited love that dwells within me as well carries me from that place of recognition once again into my truest nature, a nature that is balanced, full of integrity, open to love, peaceful. This is my true nature and yours. And so I accept for you, as I know for myself this day, nothing can stand in the way of our true nature expressing itself in fullness when we are willing. So I invite the grace, I invite the willingness within myself, and I invite you to do the same. In order for that true nature to blossom and shine into this world that so desperately needs our light, I do forgive. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to open to that again and again. And so it is. All right. I'm going to invite our ushers to come forward for the offertory. We have many, many people here and in our virtual audience that are financially supporting our organization. We don't receive money from outside sources. We don't have a mother church that somehow funnels money our way. So we're grateful for every coin and every dollar that is given to our organization. It means the world to us to be able to bring messages like this to you and to others who may need it. So thank you for your gifts. Let's have some great music.
I am open to receive all the good that is from me. I am open to receive perfect love and harmony. I am open to receive abundance and prosperity. I am open to receive all the good that is from me. I am open to receive all the good that is from me. I am open to receive perfect love and harmony. I am open to receive abundance and prosperity. I am open to receive all the good that is from me. I am open to receive all the good that is from me. I am open to receive perfect love and harmony. I am open to receive abundance and prosperity. I am open to receive all the good that is from me. I am open to receive all the good that is from me. I am open to receive all the good that is from me.
Thank you. I was telling Amber, I don't know how she does that. The whole guitar and harmonica at the same time. Whoa. Of course, Robin, same thing. It's like, okay, you're doing all this stuff and you're keeping time. It's amazing. Anyway, so you know what time it is. It's time for announcements. And I have a couple of them you may want to hear about. Next Sunday, once a year, and next Sunday is the day, we have an annual meeting. And you're all invited to come if you would like. It's going to be not only in person, but also offered virtually. And at this annual meeting, it sounds sort of dry and boring, but it's actually, I don't know, maybe it's because I am running it. I don't think so. What do we do? Well, we tell you not only about what we have done in the previous year, but we also give you a vision for what's ahead in terms of our spiritual community and its coming together. And this year is an exciting opportunity to hear about all that. So that's going to start at 11:30 next Sunday, right after this service. So we'd love you to come either on Zoom or in person and hear all the stuff. And if you're a member, we especially would hope that you could come because we have to have a quorum of our members to ratify all the things that we did in the past year and elect a couple of new board members. So please plan to come 11:30 next Sunday if you're in town, or join us virtually if you'd like. Today we have two things happening at the same time. Because of that annual meeting, the Women's Circle is meeting today instead of their usual third Sunday of the month. So the women are going to be meeting in person as well as on Zoom, and we will be here in the sanctuary starting at noon. And the men will be in the classroom doing the same thing. Not the same thing, you know what I mean. They're also hybrid, meaning they're going to have in-person as well as Zoom available for the men's meeting. So they both start at noon, they both end at 1:30, and it's a real opportunity to reconnect with some of the people that maybe you've been missing for a while. So we invite you to come and be a part of that if it feels good. We have a team and we have a core value of being earth stewards. And what that means to us is that we are aware that we need to take care of not only our land, which is also happening today. Our new landscape team is busily doing all sorts of things out there, but also we have a larger team that goes out and does service projects in the world as a way of offering our stewardship to the earth. So on March 22nd, which is a Tuesday, from noon to 2, there's a beach cleanup. And the beach this time is Locust Beach, which is at the end of Locust Avenue here in Bellingham. And it's an opportunity to come and help just pick up trash and make the beach clean again. So if you'd like to come, this announcement and all of the announcements are on our website, and you're welcome to look up more of the details. Kat, where'd Kat go? There she is. Kat Wingardter is a ministerial student that I've gotten to teach a couple times this last couple of months. And she's also a practitioner here in our center. And she is helping me by teaching a history class of New Thought for any of you who maybe are thinking about becoming a practitioner or would just like to do a deep dive into some of the early thinking that led to the understanding of the science of mind philosophy. That class is going to be starting on March 30th, which is a Wednesday, from 6 to 8:30 p.m. And it is only being offered on Zoom. Kat lives out in Kendall. And so she's offering this class, and I hope you'll think about taking it. It's super interesting, and you learn a lot about some of the really core concepts that we enjoy. So next week is not only our annual meeting, but it is the launch of Gourmets for Good. And the way we launch is we invite people who would like to prepare a meal and put that meal up for bid to fill out a host form. So the host forms are going to be online on our website starting next Sunday. And if you've been thinking about maybe a special small event that you could put on, whether it's a dinner or a brunch or a lunch or a picnic or a hike or whatever, we'd love you to fill out one of those forms and become one of our hosts or hostesses. And then in a few weeks, in April, I think it is, maybe May, we're going to be having bid sheets outside, and you can bid for a place at the table. And it's a way of raising funds for our center, but actually that's not our main point, particularly this year. Our main point is connecting people. And so in small groups around a dining room table, at a restaurant, out on a hike with a brown bag, you get to know people in a way that you can't sitting facing me on a Sunday morning. So we hope you'll consider not only maybe making a meal, but bidding for one so that you can reconnect or connect for the first time with a lot of really wonderful spiritual people. And let's see, I have just a couple more. Climate Cafe. The Earth Stewards are putting on a spiritual artistry climate cafe on the last Sunday of this month, in person and on Zoom. And we're asking for your participation. You will see next Sunday what is going to be called an earth altar. And on that earth altar, we're inviting you to bring a representation of something that you either are doing to help the planet. So, for example, I've eliminated a lot of plastic in what I'm doing. And so I might bring an old plastic something that I still have kicking around and put it on the altar as a representation of my artistry, which is to make mayonnaise, make bread, make mustard, make yogurt, you know. But yours might be different. Maybe you'd like to bring a blessing for the earth, or you'd like to bring a painting, or you'd like to bring a poem, or whatever you've got. You can bring a rock. I know a lot of you have rocks. But that will adorn our altar. And then the following Sunday, the 27th, right after our service, we're going to take a look at what we've created in terms of the earth altar and have an opportunity to share our artistry and how we can build each other's consciousness so that hope and action come together to help. So you're invited to come. You're invited to create the altar with us, and we hope you will. The meeting on the 27th of March will be from noon to 1:30. And I just wanted to let you know about a meditation for the earth that our practitioner of the day, Francine Kitchen, is doing on a regular basis once a month. She is offering a meditation for the earth on Thursdays, the first Thursday of every month from 5:30 to 6:15. It's an opportunity to come together on Zoom and do a meditation that is a guided process to add our collective consciousness to the consciousness of so many who are working diligently to regenerate the earth. So you're invited into Francine's meditation as well. All right, I think you've had enough announcements. Why don't we have one more song and we'll send you out of here. And thank you so much for coming.
Even now I am able, even now I am free. Even now I can feel the Spirit washing over me. Even now I can find the love in everyone I see. Even now I am free. I'm healthy and I'm whole. Even now I am healthy. Even now I am whole. Even now I can feel the Spirit deep down in my soul. Even now I can choose the path of peace and harmony. Even now I am free. Even now I'm able. Even now I am able. Even now I am free. Even now I can feel the Spirit washing over me. Even now I can find the love in everyone I see. Even now I am free. Even now I am free. I'm free, believe it. Even now I am free. So lovely to see your faces today. We'll see you again next week. 1, 2, 3.